Lil Meech. Is that the correct way to pronounce your name?
Yes. Yes, it
Now,
is.
where are you from?
I'm from Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida.
Yes.
Okay. Currently living in Miami?
Yes.
Okay. Got you. And let me ask you this. Been there all your life?
Yes, I have, since I was born.
Okay. Now, your upbringing, what was it like growing up for you? I mean, you're 16 now. What was it like growing up for you in the city of Miami? Paint the picture for us.
Well, I was born in Aventura, Florida, and my mom is a flight attendant, so I was always with my dad. So my dad I was always with him. We were always doing stuff together. I still remember clear that we were always doing stuff together. My mom was always flying, so I had a very great upbringing. Like, I loved my childhood. Absolutely loved it.
Are you the only child? Are there
I'm
any
the
siblings?
only son, but I have two sisters.
Okay.
Yes.
And where are you age range? Are you the oldest, the one in the middle?
I'm the youngest.
The youngest.
Youngest,
Okay.
yes.
Now, growing up with your father, obviously, people that are familiar with the BMF history and the BMF story, he was arrested and sentenced to prison for 30 years. At what age did that happen for you? Did he get locked up?
Well, actually, I knew nothing about it through my whole childhood. Like, I knew absolutely nothing about it until one day I just kept seeing BMF and I wanted to know what it was. So I went on my computer and just searched up BMF and everything popped up. I read everything off of Wikipedia myself, and that's when I actually read it myself and actually knew what happened or knew who my dad was and everything like that. I was probably the age around 7, 6 or 7.
Oh, 6 or 7 when that happened.
Yes.
Okay, got you. So even when you're hanging around with him, those 6, 7 years, you were kind of sheltered from that part of the lifestyle that
yes, I
he
knew.
was living.
I had no clue at all.
Now, was he always on the move? Were you always on the move growing up, or were you just stayed in Miami, and how did that work for you?
Well, we were traveling a lot,
Mm-hmm.
actually. We were traveling, going to the different houses and stuff, and through all my birthday parties when I was a little kid, every time we had a new cartoon character come, and it was always amazing, yes.
Now, what was it like for you growing up? Did you grow up like Richie Rich, or did you have like a normal, childhood, normal upbringing, I guess, to a regular average person growing up in America, or what?
I would say that I had a nice childhood. I mean, I got everything I wanted. I'm spoiled. I was spoiled. I'm still am spoiled. So, I mean, yes, it was great.
Now, obviously, he's known for having an extravagant lifestyle and glitz and glamour and a lot of that sort of thing. Did you experience any of that? Like, what might have been the craziest thing you've seen growing up with him in those 6, 7 years? If you can remember. I don't know if you can.
Well, the craziest thing was when I think we were at a video shoot one time, and he had his white Ferrari out, and I was actually in the driver's seat of the Ferrari while he was outside, I guess talking to some friends, and the Ferrari was still on, and I actually pressed the gas pedal by mistake, and it wasn't in park, I don't think, so I almost pulled off. Luckily that I stopped, and he jumped in and pulled me out. So that was wild.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when that happened?
I had to be about 5.
5 years old in the
Yes.
front seat of a Ferrari. Wow.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Okay, so he gets locked up. You're about 6 or 7 years old. What's it like growing up from that point forward with him in your life? How
Well,
often do you guys communicate, see him personally, that sort of thing?
Well, we talk every day on the email. He emails me every day. He has a point system through the cell phone, so whenever he gets a chance to call me, he calls me. When he runs out of minutes, he has to wait till he gets more minutes to call me back, but we talk every day. I go see him. Me and my mother go see him every other month, every couple weeks basically. So we see him on a daily basis, not on a daily basis, but we see him a lot, and I talk to him every day. So he's still one of those great parents. I mean, we still talk. He still gives me advice. It's still basically, it's just always going to be my dad, so he's always there.
Now, are these emails pretty short emails that you guys communicate with or talk on the phone? Are they short conversations, or are they, you know, like?
Well, the emails, they always have a length to them. I mean, it doesn't matter if we talk about nothing, they're still medium to long emails, and when we do have stuff to talk about, they're long, very long. Our conversations are always to the max, so yes.
Now, when you do get a chance to visit him, how long is a visit for someone like yourself and your mother?
Well, the visit starts at 8:30 and it ends at 3. And me and my mom always go from 8:30 to 3. So we stay the whole time, stay the whole weekend, spend as much time as we can with him every time we go.
Is it tough?
I mean, it used to be tough, but now it got a lot better. It got a lot better. I mean, we know he's gonna come home soon, so yeah, it got a lot better.
Now on paper, he was sentenced for 30 years. At this point, what are we looking at when he might be out?
Well, as of right now, the date is still set. He still has 30 years, but there's these laws like the 2-point reduction law that we're just waiting for them to pass through for him. They're gonna pass through, but they cut off 5 years off a sentence. So if he gets 10 off, he could be out in the next couple of years. If he gets 5 off, he'll still be off, and probably around 2022, something like that.
I see. Now, let me ask you this. Are people able to write to him? Are people able to,
Oh, yes.
fans of his and people that have, you know, want to say some things to him?
Yes, anybody can write to him. His address is public information, so anybody can just write to him.
Does he get a lot of mail?
Yes, he gets a lot of mail, a lot.
What's his current mind state like while he's locked up?
He's always had pride, and he's always been in a happy state of mind, and he knows he's gonna come home soon. He prays every day. He tells me he prays every day, so he knows in his heart that he's gonna come home. That original date is not his real date, so we're all waiting, just waiting.
Now, as far as like advice, life lessons, jewels that he's, you know, given you, talked to you about, what's something that sticks to you out of all the conversations you guys may have?
He always says, be smart with my decision making, and don't make the same mistakes he's seen other people do, or I've seen other people do, and don't make the same mistakes he's done, of course. And he just wants a better life for me, of course. So he always has great advice for me.
And is he up on pretty much everything that's going on, like as far as like current events, whether it's?
Oh yes, he's actually ahead of me on most of them.
Oh yeah?
Yes, especially as far as music. He loves music, he always had a passion for music, so some of the rappers that he puts me up on, haven't even known about.
Wow.
So, yes, it's wild.
Who are some artists that he, or music that he enjoys?
He loves Drake, he loves Nicki Minaj, he loves Meek Mill, he loves Lil Herb, Lil Bibby, he likes Chicago rappers, he loves a lot of rappers, like mostly all of them, yes.
Now, I know when he was out in the streets, he was very monumental with rappers like Young Jeezy, and he formed, obviously, BMF ENT, which had Blue Da Vinci, and things of that nature. How's his relationships with those guys, and how's your relationships with some of these rappers that he likes? And I see you take a lot of pictures with a lot of rappers on your Instagram. So
a lot of the rappers have a lot of high respect for him, so we still are in touch. I mean, most of them some of them are like my uncles. Really, have always been there for me, and especially like Jeezy, always been there for me. And his respect level for Jeezy is high, and he still talks to a lot of the rappers, and basically Jeezy is like my godfather. So A lot of the rappers he has respect for, though. He still talks to, they still have mutual respect.
Now, being around hip-hop and his love for hip-hop and dealing with a lot of these rappers, have you ever thought about rapping yourself?
I mean, people have wanted me to rap and start rapping and brought it to my attention, but it's not for me.
Not for you?
No, I'm just going to start engineering and producing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got you. Now, what about as far as going to school? You're 16, how does that work for you? Is someone like yourself homeschooled? Is someone like yourself going to public school, private school?
I used to go to private school, and then I was homeschooled, but now I go to a public school, and I like it. It's different.
Now, why the different arrangements for you?
I just wanted to try each environment and see how it would take and see how I would like it. And I think public school is a fit for me. I like it, being around kids that I like and the same nature, and I mean, it's different, but I like it.
Now, you're 16, so what grade are you in now?
I'm in 11th.
11,
Yes.
so almost done with school.
Yes.
How are you treated in school? Does everybody know? I mean, you're here today wearing a Free Big Meech shirt. Is this some of the gear that you wear when you're in school?
No, I don't wear the Free Big Meech and BMF stuff on campus, but I mean, the kids, they treat me the same, really. I mean, I don't ask to be treated like a celebrity. The kids know who my father is. I mean, they still treat me with respect. So I still have a lot of friends, and I guess you could say I'm popular, but I surround myself by the people who I like or being around, and yes.
Now, being popular and people just inquiring and seeing stuff that's happening now for you, are you flattered by the attention, or does it get annoying? How do you deal with it?
It never gets annoying. I mean, I'm flattered because I love the respect people show me for as far as my father, and I just like how people portray him and show that he's a good guy, because that's what he is. I mean, he's a real family person, so I love it. I mean, it never gets old to me, so I love it.
Now, when it comes to school, what's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject would be English. I love writing.
Least favorite subject?
Math, algebra.
Now, what about as far as like driving? Have you been close to being in the front of the Ferrari again since 4 years old, or what?
Yes, I drive a lot, actually. I'm getting my car real soon, so.
You got your license already?
Yes.
Okay. And how does that work? Because I think different states have different rules and stuff like that. When were you able to get your permit? When were you able to get your driver's license?
When you get your permit, if you get your permit at 15, you have to have your permit for 1 year until you can get your license. So I have my license now.
Okay. Got you. And you said soon you'll be getting a car?
Yes, soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
Do you know what you'll be getting yet?
No, not yet. It's supposed to be a surprise.
Supposed to be a surprise. Okay.
Yes.
Got you. Now, what about as far as, okay, you're popular, you know, a lot of stuff's going on. What about a girlfriend? Do you have time for that? How does that work?
Nah, I really don't have time for a girlfriend.
No girlfriend?
No.
What about like prom and stuff like that? Have you been to prom yet, or?
No, I want to go to prom though. I can't wait for prom.
So you're looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm excited.
Now, when do you graduate? What year?
2018.
2018.
Yes.
And what are you looking forward to doing after you graduate? I know we talked about producing and engineering, and there's a new TV show coming out, but what are you looking forward to personally?
I want to go to college for engineering, and I'm moving to Cali, so I want to go to UCLA or USC, anything up there that I like, so hopefully that goes well.
And also, when we were talking about your father and his visits and stuff, is that where he's currently located in? Is in Cali?
Yes, he's about 3 hours away from LA, Los Angeles, and Lompoc. He's in Lompoc, California. Yes.
Now, let's talk about well, let me ask you this, okay? When we were talking about your father and stuff like that and being locked up and having to deal with a parent that's locked up, because, you know, you're not the only one that's in this position. There's a lot of people that have parents and those that look over them that may be locked up for a serious amount of time. What advice do you have for maybe someone watching this, a kid your age maybe, that has to deal with something like that? What would you say to that person? Their parents just get locked up and they're going to be doing some serious time. What do you say to that kid?
You have to stay strong, and you have to, if your dad or mom can't call you, you have to stay writing them, stay sending them letters, and be strong for them, and let them know that you're always there for them. Keep their pride up, make sure that they never let down. So you always have to just keep their self-esteem up as well as yours. You can't let yourself fall down or them. Yes.